The clock will all meeting in order. Doug, please lead us to the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Doudna is absent. All the board members are present. Mr. Bosworth is public notice given.
Yes, it has.
Any shout outs and celebrations?
We have one tonight. Carrie's going to read a shout out from Ashley Shaw.
Mrs. Shaw writes, I am not sure who leads the high school tutoring group, but I must sing the praises about Ava Gotchel. It was such a pleasure getting to know Ava. She is such a respectful, kind, and dependable student. She consistently showed up with a smile, positive attitude, and willingness to do anything to help support our young learners. Ava is a natural when working with students and has a calming, gentle presence with students. She is patient, caring, and kind. The world needs more Avas. She shared with me she wants to be a teacher, and there isn't a doubt in my mind that someday she will be a phenomenal teacher. I just wanted to take a moment to express my gratitude for Ava and this program.
Public comments per policy 0167.3. Anyone wishing to participate in the period of public comment must be a resident of Richland School District, the parent or legal guardian of an enrolled district student or an enrolled district student. Persons wishing to participate must be physically present at the meeting and must register in advance. A total time allotment of 30 minutes will be given for public comment. Each participant shall be given 3 minutes to address the board. Speakers not permitted to make inflammatory comments, use inappropriate language or gestures, attack specific persons, or make a specific person the subject of their remarks. Please see policy 0167.3 for a complete list of requirements and restrictions. If a person is unable to adhere to these rules, they'll be directed to end their comments. Mrs. Holman?
There is none.
Thank you. On to reports, board member reports.
The Richland School District Foundation met on June 15th. The bulk of the meeting was doing a recap from scholarship night, awards night. Things that we can do that went well, things we can do to improve, kind of preparing for next year and just some of those hurdles. And then we also discussed a little bit about the upcoming outstanding alumni that will be happening during homecoming and getting the word out through social media, newspaper, those types of things. And that was the bulk of the meeting.
Thank you. Student council report.
Good evening. My name is Charlie Bailey, and I'm going into my junior year here at RCHS. I've been a part of the student council since my freshman year, and I'm happy to be voted as a parliamentarian, giving me the chance to represent the student council to you guys. Currently, our council is in the works of planning homecoming, our biggest event of the year. On May 26th, we voted on the theme, which was decided to be Hornets in Paradise, a tropical theme to carry us into the 2026-2027 school year. Homecoming will be the week of October 12th through the 16th, with the dance on the 17th. Community members can register for the parade through WRCO at the community center, the observer post, and at the main office and district office. There will also be a QR code posted on the school website to register as well. On June 16th, the council voted on the grand marshal, in which Billy Jones was chosen. With lots left to do, our council has a good lead to make this homecoming great. Is there any questions?
Could you tell me what the theme was again, Charlie?
Hornets in Paradise.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. All right, achievement gap reduction, AGR year-end report.
Okay, in your board book, board members, there was a presentation by Dr. Sherry Johnson about our annual report for AGR, and I see that Dr. Johnson is with us virtually tonight, so if anybody has any questions, I think she'd be happy to answer those.
Questions from the board? The STING CCLC report.
Okay, similarly, Dr. Johnson also gave a presentation on our CCLC Staying After School program. Just some information kind of summarizing what it does and some of its goals, and also sharing some information that the program will not continue due to some, we've been unable to maintain some required attendance numbers by students. And in the third year, the founders of the grant have decided to end our funding, so the program won't continue into the future, but it did some great things while it was here. And also, if you have some questions, Dr. Johnson could answer those.
Questions? All right, we'll move on to the minutes then. Is there a motion to approve the prior meeting minutes of May 20th, 2026?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Billing. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Thompson. Any discussion? Mr. Billing?
Aye.
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 Aye. Is there a motion to approve the prior meeting minutes of May 26th, 2026?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Billing. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Troxel, any discussion? Mrs. Sharp?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
And is there a motion to approve prior meeting minutes of June 8th, 2026?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Billing. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mrs. Sharp. Any discussion? Mr. Doudna? Aye.
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 Great. On to financial items, business officials report.
Okay, a few things to keep you up to date on tonight. Our general insurance renewals came through. We were anticipating some price increases, but actually it came out pretty favorable. Our biggest one, our property insurance, actually went down about $3,000, but we did have to increase our deductible from $5,000 to $10,000 as a result of the concession stand fire that we had. Cyber insurance went up about $1,000. It represents about a 10% increase. And we're changing workers' compensation providers simply because employers is getting out of the business. It's not that we're uninsurable. They're just not going to do it anymore. We're going to go with West Bend. Those rates are set by the state. So there isn't necessarily something to be gained by working with one company over another. But we're going to work with West Bend, and we think our rates will drop a little bit simply because some of our claims are dropping off of a 3-year rolling average, and so our rates may drop. Okay, the second thing to keep you in the loop on is that we've done a couple of RFPs and bids recently. We did a bid process for a new scrubber for the high school. You can see that in the expenses for tonight. We took it's a Zamboni type scrubber that they drive around the hallways. And we got a 30-incher, which is an increase from what we had. And we'll take the one that's currently at the high school and move that to the intermediate school. And then we also did an RFP for the company, which is, name's escaping me right now, but Mark O'Brien can maybe help me out. You'll see some big dumpsters around here, and our maintenance and custodial staff are hauling out old furniture and throwing it in these dumpsters. And so we did an RFP with the company to not only haul our stuff away, but then sell it and give us some money, actually. So it's a kind of a win-win for both of us. Mark O'Brien, you remember the company that was there?
Rennick out of Wanting Walk.
Okay, Rennick out of Wanting Walk. Thank you. Third thing, we're winding up 25-26, so we're shaking everybody to get as many invoices as we can from them to make sure we get as much paid in 25-26 as we can. It's cleaner for the accounting. We're watching how the overall budget is looking. It's looking at this point as if expenses are going to be under what we had anticipated. We don't have as good of a thumb on top of our revenues at this point, so I can't really give you a great projection on where we're going to come at, positive or negative. But expenses are tracking underneath what we had anticipated. Along with that, we're beginning the 26-27 fiscal year. So we're planning out people's budgets, and we're told them, okay, this is the week that we just don't go to the store and we just eat what's in the cupboard. And we don't buy anything right now. We'll wait till the fiscal year turns. And then once it turns, then the free for all begins within their budgets. And we're planning out their budgets right now. And then finally, looking at next year's budget, we had talked about some of the bigger expenses before. Those haven't changed very much. Increasing employee wages at 2.5% is pretty reasonable, but it's still a big increase of, probably over $250,000. Health insurance was a big increase, close to $300,000 increase there. But those are being offset slightly by the reduction in staffing we put through earlier this winter, I suppose you'd say. And then at this point, I have some numbers dated May 1st from the state, from the DPI, and it does look like our revenue limit authority will increase by about $300,000. So those numbers are getting closer than what we had originally anticipated. It still shows a slight deficit on the big spends. And of course, there's inflation to account for as well. So we're still watching those things. Any questions on any of those items?
Right. Approval of statement of cash and invoices.
We make a motion to approve the statement of cash dated June 15th, 2026, and approve Community First Bank general checking accounts checks number 88353 through 88456, ACH number 252-60549 through 252-605-312, EFT number 202-500-334 through 202-500-363, for a net total of $1,374,946.28. This is for the purpose of general operating costs of the district.
Okay, motion was made by Mr. Miller, your second.
I'll second.
By Mr. Troxel. Mr. Bosworth, anything you want to call out or add?
I don't have anything specific to add, but if you're thinking that this thing feels like it's about 3 times as big as normal, that's because for some reason it got triplicated. It's the same expenses 3 times. Just trying to be super transparent with everybody. We just had some end of year stuff and had to run a slightly different report. Probably looks a little different than normal. And somehow the report produced 3 times. That's all there is to that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Mr. Miller? Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, general fund balance designation.
Okay, there are 4 main kinds of fund balance. First kind, when people hear the word fund balance, is they think of what's called unassigned fund balance. That's at the end of the year, if your revenues are greater than your expenses, that unspent money, quote unquote, becomes part of your fund balance. That's unassigned. Then you can have assigned fund balance, which is a little bit, it's not very formal. And usually it's things that were meant to be purchased in the prior fiscal year, but for whatever reason weren't able to. And an administration can assign these things and they're purchased out of fund balance, not out of that next year's revenues. There is something called restricted fund balance. This is a very small piece of the fund balance pie, but it's categorical aid typically, and it has to be spent for what it is. An example is common school fund aid. We get maybe about $130,000 a year in common school fund aid. It's based on enrollment size. We can't spend half of that, roll the other half into fund balance, and then spend it on anything you want to. If that's unspent, we have to restrict it, and it has to be spent in that manner. That's what restricted is. And then the last kind is what we're talking about tonight. That's called committed fund balance. That's under the board's purview, and you can decide how to spend some fund balance funds. What we're asking tonight is to commit $60,000 of fund balance to put towards part of our plan for our employees' health insurance. On paper, some of our employees have as an example, $5,000 deductible, but actually they only are responsible for the first $3,000. And then the district agrees to pay if they have such a year that they need to. to pay the back $2,000 on that. That's this money that we're asking you to commit tonight, to commit about $60,000. And you can see the last 8 years worth of spends, and they're generally around 60 or less. And we just want to reserve that money. It's not out of next year's revenue. It's out of our current fund balance and to put towards that.
Any questions for Mr. Bosworth?
So, Mr. Bosworth, just using the 2018-19 year, just because it's on the top, we committed 90,000, we spent 57,752. What happens to the balance? How does that money get spent or allocated?
It just stays in fund balance.
Thank you.
All right, is there a motion to approve the June 30th, 2026 committed fund balance designation to include a total of $60,000 for future HRA obligations?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Mrs. Sharp. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second, Mrs. Thompson, any discussion? Mrs. Thompson?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. All right. Mrs. Coleman, consent agenda items.
Motion to approve the consent agenda items. Motion to approve $5,000 to purchase a trailer for the tech ed department at RCHS from Richland School District Foundation Incorporated on behalf of Paul Mullendorf. Motion to accept the donation of $250 for Partner School from National At-Risk Education Network, Wisconsin. Motion to approve the hiring of Lexi Teska as a 4-year-old kindergarten teacher for the 2026-27 school year as presented. Motion to approve the hiring of David Herper as a family and consumer science teacher for the 2026-27 school year as presented. Motion to approve the hiring of Linda Fritz Ewing as a cross-categorical teacher for the 2026-27 school year as presented. Motion to approve the hiring of Alexis Fisher as a cross-categorical teacher for the 2026-27 school year as presented. Motion to approve the hiring of Samuel Hippendall as a cross-categorical teacher for the 2026-27 school year as presented. Motion to approve the hiring of Felicia Rinish as an English language arts teacher for the 2026-27 school year as presented. Motion to approve the elementary summer school teaching position for the 2026 summer school as presented. Motion to accept the resignation of Rebecca Meisner, RCIS 6th grade math teacher at the conclusion of the 2025-26 school year. Motion to accept the resignation of Lisa Siegenthaler, our CPS Title I reading teacher at the conclusion of the 2025-26 school year. Motion to approve the coordinator assignments for the 2026-27 school year as presented. Motion to authorize the district administrator to sign the 2026-27 Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association membership renewal forms on behalf of the Board of Education. Motion to approve the policy revisions as presented effective immediately. Motion to approve the 2026-27 employee handbook revisions as presented. Motion to approve the 2026-27 substitute rates as presented. Motion to approve the 2026-27 food services prices for meals as presented. Motion to approve 11 open enrollment out applications for the 2026-27 school year as presented.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Ms. Troxel. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Miller, any discussion? Ms. Troxel?
Aye.
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 On behalf of the board, I would like to thank the Richland School District Foundation, Paul Mullendorf, the National At-Risk Education Network for their generous donations. Also, on behalf of the board, I want to welcome each of our new staff members who will be joining the Hornet family. We are excited to have you. In addition, I want to extend our best wishes to those who are retiring or resigning. And thank you for your dedication to our schools, students, and community. Is there a motion to approve the modified agenda?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Billy. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Dowd. Any discussion? Aye.
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 Aye. Oops, sorry. Aye.
All right, on to information discussion items, district vacancies and appointments, 2026-27.
Okay, on page 173 of your book is just kind of a running tabulation of all of our vacancies and appointments and hires to this date. I don't have anything particular to add.
Are any of these difficult to fill right now and hard candidates?
We're struggling to find candidates in special education, both as teacher, classroom aides, and teachers as well, licensed teachers. Difficult, very difficult. The other openings, we've been pretty fortunate right now. Got some good candidates coming in. Excuse me.
Any questions from the board? 2025 RSD Foundation Financial Report.
Essentially, the foundation financial report has to be reported because we hold more than $1 million in the system. Most of that money is just essentially what's called pass through. So like Paul Mullendorf's donation came through the foundation so that the donors can take advantage of us being a 501c3. That money just gets redispersed. Essentially, what we have to turn in for tax purposes is making sure that we have the right forms stating where we are with the finances and the purpose and making sure that we're legal essentially with all of our filings.
Questions? All right, Q4 discipline report.
Okay, starting on page 179 is Q4 discipline report, which you I think are kind of used to seeing at this point. Culmination of the school year. I looked through all of the tables that were there and nothing really stood out to me as being out of the ordinary or different than anything that we've seen for the past. I guess this is the fifth year of data that's on there. We do have one administrator this tonight, I think Mrs. Hardy. We have any questions about anything at the primary school? If we have any questions about the other levels, we would have to hold them and get answers for you.
Questions? All right, referendum projects update.
All right, we are fortunate to have Mr. Jones with us tonight. He's going to take us through a magical journey of referendum action.
So. Oh, real quick before we get this all pulled up, are you gonna run through them then, Carrie?
I've got
So-
here.
Let me yap here a little bit. At the primary building, we went through another walkthrough with Nexus yesterday. Looking at punch list items. They're getting very close to being done with everything there. What they have left, we've given them 30 days to get it done. We'll do another walkthrough August 1st. So Mrs. Hardy and her staff can get moving on there. New furniture is in there. They're still putting it together today.
This
Mrs.
morning.
Hardy? Yeah, so it's looking good. Retention pond will be rebuilt in the next week or two. The company that did it, it's on them to come back and do it over and do it right this time. Intermediate building is running on schedule. Blacktop work is going on down there today. We do have a couple of rooms, 3 rooms we need to remove asbestos in. We found some flooring that tested bad. That's gonna be removed tomorrow, Friday and Saturday. And air quality test should be back by Tuesday and we can turn it back over to Nexus then. But it's running on time. That furniture is due to be here on the 13th of August. High school, if you look out here, you can see the main lot has been blacktopped. Did they get the second coat on it today, Mark?
They did.
They did. Yesterday, they got it done last night, okay. Striping will start there soon. It'll cure a few days here. This rain is actually doing a good cure, so. Building itself is running on schedule, except for the high school office. They just started in there today. They're a few weeks behind, but they put a full crew in there today, so they'll get caught up quickly. The welding shop has been painted, so they're very close to being done back there. The wood shop is being painted this week, and then they'll go into the auto shop and get that done. So we're getting close back on that backside. The loading dock, the maintenance loading dock will be poured. It's been poured, hasn't it, Mark?
The drain is poured.
Yeah.
We just gotta lay the concrete on the back base.
So that'll be done next week probably. Weather looks good now. Did have to move a fire hydrant up here. We knew that was gonna happen. That happened this last week with the help of the city utilities and the contractors. Bus lot out here, we did find some issues out here. You'll see that most of that gravel is gonna get pulled out of there in the next week. The sub base is not thick enough. You have to have 8 to 10 inches in there for those buses. And we found that it wasn't that. So they're gonna take the gravel out that they have, store it up by the shed, dig down. We believe that the base underneath of it is good. We didn't find anything bad that way. They rolled it this week and it looked okay. We just need to build up that sub base more. So they'll be working on that in the next week or so. They'll have that done. Anything, Mark, that I'm missing?
Auditorium's on schedule.
Yeah. Furniture will be here July 20th. So we'll run through any questions so far. Okay, we'll run through a quick slideshow here. This is intermediate. The picture on the left is the band room. You see the risers are gone out of there. And that's actually a new air handler there that will fit upstairs above the gym. That is one of, I believe, 8 that are being replaced there. And that'll all fit together. They'll get it upstairs. The next room is a mechanical room on the new end of the building, newer end of the building, the 91 edition. That's empty, that's missing air handlers, and they're actually in there now. They put them in Monday. Then the picture on the right is a picture of the band room again, without the risers. This is non-asbestos floor tile they're taking up there, and that's a machine they use to take it up. It's a lot quicker than the old-fashioned way of a scraper. The machine goes through and picks it up. This is at the intermediate, doing curb and gutter work there. This is cafeteria. Little history there. When I first started working here, that was the IMC. So that's the second time I've seen that. That's all gonna be redone. That's the gym storage, where they're putting all the furniture, they're covering the floor, so it's not gonna hurt the wood floor. Boys and girls bathroom, history hallway, right around the corner here. That's just some of the work they're doing there and what they're doing to protect the rooms. Auditorium, the rigging has been removed, the curtains have been removed. A lot of that equipment up on the ceiling is coming down, new is going up. It just shows some of the rigging. That shows, top left is the lower portions of the seats removed. And bottom left is the seats out in the cafeteria, out in the West Commons. Middle one is the seats in the upper decks there coming out. And then the picture on the right is everything out of there. They're moving right along in there. Won't take them long to recarpet that and get the seats back in there. Picture on the left is the loading dock at the maintenance shop. Picture on the right is the bus lane, blacktop removed. Picture in the middle it was. Picture on the right is the F parking lot curb. This is the Tech Ed and Metal shop. You can see them painting in there. And that is just a picture I took. This is the old home ec or face room at the intermediate. And that's the original 1966 outside wall. Being covered in there. It says 66. Did I say 66? 67. Any questions?
Is there gonna be a change order for the bus lanes with that, the extra work with the
Yeah,
gravel?
there will be. Don't know how much it's gonna be. They're working on it. We might have it tomorrow.
Okay.
That'll come next meeting. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
So
Jones.
much work.
Great. On to action items, official naming of alt ed off-campus program.
All right, we are fortunate in Richland to have a number of programs for students to be involved in outside of the traditional classroom scenario setting. One of those is at the high school, alt ed off campus. GPD is kind of woven in there as well. And the desire is to give that program its own name and a little bit of identity. And so the suggestion is RC Pathways. That name, as I understand it, came from the instructors and the students in the program. I suppose I should read out loud, sorry. RC Pathways after RC Program for Alternative Track High School where achievement yields success. RC Pathways.
All right, any questions? Okay, is there a motion to approve the program known as alt ed off campus? Excuse me, to be officially named RC Pathways commencing July 1st, 2026 as presented.
I'll make the motion.
Made by Ms. Troxel, second.
I'll second it.
Second, Ms. Thompson, any discussion? Bailey?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Aye. All right, addition of early literacy coach.
Okay, as you're probably aware, across the nation, there's been a real renewed focus on reading instruction. And Richland is no different than anywhere else in the country, and we want to improve our reading instruction as well. Dr. Johnson worked with the DPI and applied for program, and we were awarded this program. So for up to 2 years, we can receive funding from the DPI to employ an early literacy coach. And so this person was required to have a 316 reading license, potentially earn a 317, which is a slightly higher ability to run an entire school district is a 317, but they need a 316. And this person, if the program is approved and if hired, works with adults to improve reading instruction with adults. This person doesn't work with children. They don't give assessments. They don't go out to recess duty. They work with our teachers to help them become better teachers. And Dr. Johnson is here again. If anybody has any specific questions.
Is there a focus for this person to be focused mostly at the primary school and then supports at the intermediate and potentially the high school as well.
Sherry, can you answer that?
I can help with that otherwise, Sherry.
Oh, yeah, go ahead if you want to. We do have to select which building they support. They can only support one building. So the DPI asked us, because it's supposed to support, this position is supposed to support any grades between the years of kindergarten through third grade. And so I selected primary because that is the one building that holds a majority of those grades.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
And this funding covers the whole, everything, benefits, salary, everything for 2 years.
Yes, it does.
Is there a possibility that there will be funding extended on this, or is this something that goes away after 2 years?
Sherry?
At this point, it is not, but the legislature may change their mind. I think they want to see what the data shows after a year or two and then make decisions then.
Any other questions? All right, is there a motion to approve the creation of a DPI-funded early literacy coach position for the 2026, 2027, and 2027, 2028 school years?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Mrs. Sharp. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Bailey. Any discussion? Mrs. Sharp.
Aye.
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 All right, hiring of early literacy coach for 2026-27.
All right, so since we've just recently approved working with the DPI to employ a literacy coach, now we have a candidate for you to approve. Normally, candidates would have been up on the consent agenda, but you can't approve a candidate before the program doesn't exist. So Ms. Briandre gets her own school board vote to be approved as the new early literacy coach.
Is there a motion to approve the hiring of Brianne Dre as an early literacy coach for the 2026-27 school year as presented?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Mrs. Thompson. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Cox, any discussion? Mr. Dowd.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Welcome aboard, Brianne Dre. All right, referendum budget and change events.
Okay, it's on page 202, 203 of your board book. Page 203 is largely unchanged since you looked at this last month. Two things have changed since then. The contingency fund went up slightly. So some of the dollar estimates for projects must have come in slightly under budget. So the contingency fund was up about 36,500. And our monthly update on our bond proceeds went up about 1,300. All right, so we're up about an additional $38,000, unspoken for at this point. But at the same time, we're asking you to approve two change orders. The first of which you've kind of already approved. Last meeting, we approved a change order, but there was the dollar amount that was listed was not the dollar amount that was needed. The dollar amount that was approved was too small. It's just an error in writing the memo. So that's the first change order. And then the second change order tonight is mainly regarding auditorium changes. Is that right, Brian?
I don't know what they're.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's auditorium changes. So the two changes, two change orders for a total of 68,000. But do keep in mind that we grew our unspoken funds by about 38,000.
It says 31,000 was an addition for auditorium chair lighting because it was a code requirement. So that's part of that 68,000. Any questions? All right, is there a motion to approve the change events dated 5/21/26 and 6/11/2026 for a net change of $68,845.25?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Dowden. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second, Ms. Troxel, any discussion? Miller?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
All right. Now, we're on to the presentation of strategic framework from steering committee, and I'll just give a little thing of this as they get ready to do their presentation. Last fall, the board went on a journey adopting a new governance model. With that, also adopted getting the Donovan Group to facilitate community engagement, two-night event, to set the direction of the school district with community input. So over the last several months, this group of people has been very hard at work, soliciting feedback, hosting a two-night event, working really, really hard on getting all the data gathered, compiled, and working towards what they're going to present to us tonight. So Mr. Board really wanted to be here tonight, however, he's out of the country on a fishing trip, family. So we're gonna throw that in there. So I'm gonna turn it over to the steering committee, Mr. Schrader and the folks that represent our community.
Thought they were all gonna come up with me, but apparently not.
You're on your own.
I'm Megan Clerkin. I was chosen by you, the board, to be a part of the strategic plan framework. And it was a pleasure getting to know all these people behind me and working with them. Do I just push it? Oh, cool. I've never used this before. Okay. It doesn't like me. So like Mr. Umbihan said, it all started with the Board of Education charge. So you handpicked us to create these community events to collect data on what we wanted to build our goals on for our 5-year plan. So it was our job. We were picked to represent the community as best we could with different groups. So I'm a staff member. There's a few other staff members. There is a few students and then some business owners. Construction. There's a whole bunch of us. And it was our job to communicate with the community and to plan these events. Oh, no, I have to look, okay. All right, so the members were Riley Banker. She represented our student body. She's not here with us, but she did an amazing job. Jeff Behrens, of course, myself, Mick Cosgrove, Larry Engel, Brady Ewing, Ron Fruit, Mark Miller, Shelley Stibbe, and then Rob Wenthus. We have had 8 meetings, and then of course our 2 events, which totaled meeting 10 times. And like I said, it was the first few were planning the events, and then our last few were collecting the data and creating goals. So we came up with Hive Mind, and they were back in April on the 26th and the 29th. And here are some pictures. We had student performances, we had Homer, we had the band, we had cheerleaders. And what we did was we created groups of tables, and we're gonna get into it a little bit more of what we did, because that's not my slide, that's someone else's slide, so. We also had fun activities, like the decades. People were able to go around and write down things that they remember happened in Richland County or really just anywhere. You can see at the bottom, we had some secretaries. They actually took all of the posters and they put in all of the data on a spreadsheet for us. And then after the events, we were able to look at all of the comments and things like that. So on Sunday, April 26th, we had 108 people attend, and then Wednesday we had 105, and then we had 8 kids participate in the daycare. And now I'm going to ask Mark to come on up.
Good evening, I'm Mark Miller. I'm owner of Miller Electric here in Richland County for the last 29 years. I was brought in as one of the guys in the construction group. Okay, I don't work for the school. Okay, so on our, let's see if we can advance. What's up, Carrie? That's the problem. Right. All right, so all these, we had an event that was, well, first of all, I don't know if you guys even know, but we had groups of 10 at our table. You had like a table administrator. So these were recorded based on, and they're weighted based on how they scored at each one of the tables. So I'm not going to read through every word of everything here because you guys are fully capable of doing that. And I know you have these slides that are going to be available to you as well. We will go through like the top 5 of each one. So they broke into this event. They had MADs, GLADs, and SADs. So the MADs and SADs were approximately 70% of the time that we had allowed. GLADs being 30%. Okay. So like they were concerned, they just want to see more clear, timely, transparent communication from the leadership, the schools regarding the decisions, budgeting, school updates. All right. Discipline was a major concern. They thought that they want to have a little more definition on bullying and discipline procedures pertaining to that. Teachers and staff support. They're wondering about staff reductions, teacher retention, staff morale, balance between administrative positions and classroom support, financial concerns, taxes, referendums, long-term financial planning, how the district funds are used. All right, so they want to make sure that they have importance of strong academics, workforce, preparation, career exploration, hands-on learning opportunities, expanded access to technical and trades-based programs. They are concerned about excessive use of screen time by the students, and some of the people were concerned that there's relying on devices for instruction and homework going on. Let's see. Equitable treatment. The facilities and buildings, they just are concerned with questions regarding the planning, reservations, costs, safety measures, overall planning, operational decision-making, food quality, school culture. They were concerned about school safety being a top priority, community relationships. Okay, so they kind of covered the MADs. The LADs, there were quite a few GLADs, honestly. It wasn't all doom and gloom. So they do believe that they have a caring, dedicated staff, and the students have strong relationships with the staff. There you go. Sorry. All right. So they did believe that they had a wide range of academic, career, and extracurricular and alternative learning options. The one hive culture, they were pretty happy with that situation, providing unity throughout the district. Communication and community outreach, a lot of them had great things to say about the music and arts program, which I think is well deserved. A lot of them thought that there was a safe environment here. They were glad that it was focused on here as a district. They felt their kids were safe. Otherwise, the facilities, and they believe that it was a good investment in the school improvements. They also viewed the school district academically strong and offering innovative and flexible learning opportunities. Then some of the SADs overlap with the MADs. They wish that the parents would be more involved with the students. They're worried about bullying again, which obviously we need to. They want some more discipline practices for that. They want to see more trades pathways. They want kids that are able to go to work directly out of school for those that are not going to go on to college per se, maybe in the technical path. They're concerned about declining enrollment, open enrollment, and then the students leaving the area after graduation and not returning. Otherwise, you can see the rest: school culture, engagement, belonging. They believe that there is a declining school spirit, overall sense of belonging here, not being there. Scheduling conflicts could potentially be looked at for the students' work life or their life balance, I guess, school life balance. Yeah, so excessive technology use instead of fundamental skills like handwriting and typing. They're concerned about staff turnover, teacher support, and finding qualified educators to come to this area, the school district. Funding and resources for the facilities. They're just wondering how they're going to pay for everything. Student wellness, food basics. They believe that there needs to be stronger support for wellness, nutrition, basic needs. That's about it. Okay, so we didn't read it word for word, we're close. But anyway, I do want you guys to pay special attention to how these things are phrased and their order of importance, because they, like I said, again, they are weighted based on the responses we all got at our tables. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, good evening. I'm Larry Engel. I represent the broader community. This was whoop, station identification. So this one was a fun exercise. It was intergenerational. We just talked about what happened in the last 8 decades or so. So depending on where you were standing, you could have a lot of fun. I said rotary dial, Ford Pinto, bell bottoms, and a high school kid looked up at his mother and said, "What is he talking about?" But this was really a good kind of energy setter for the generational stuff. What we focused on this night was brag, worry, wonder, and bet. In our small groups, our responsibility was to keep going back and getting everybody's energy and everybody's response. So you'd often hear us at the table saying, do you have anything more on that, or anything clearer? So here's what we came up with. On the brag, caring, dedicated staff, strong student relationships. Again, music and the arts were highlighted. Student opportunities and pathways was a brag. Facilities and environment, the cell phone ban was a real hit. People really liked that. They really liked the one hive culture and that messaging that's going out and the narrative going out in the community. They really appreciated that. That kind of sent a real foundational message about the identity and the culture that was trying to be built. Positive momentum and innovation, academic quality and achievement. Now for some of the more things they worried about. Declining enrollment and financial stability. The referendums, the taxes, the long-term consolidation with other districts, et cetera. Student behavior and accountability. Worried about that. Mental health rose to the surface rather quickly, especially with all the screen times today and a lot of the research is being shown about anxiety and mental health and the anxious generation that's coming among us. So there's a lot of energy. There's a lot of energy around that. Technology and screen time. Academic rigor and life readiness. They like that. Staffing and retention. Want to keep quality teachers. That was a huge, huge discussion. Curriculum values, educational priorities, food. Some of these you've already heard before. So I will just keep going. And here's what they wondered. Here's what they wondered about. Desire for stronger trades and career, financial literacy, and real life skills. There was a real concern that the emphasis was on college, not profession. So they really want to balance in that, and they want that to be really clear that there's multiple ways to go, and every opportunity should be taken for that. Communication impaired engagement. They really love stronger engagement. Enrollment, retention, and community growth. Again, that declining enrollment was a wonder. Academic expectations in technology and future learning. Trying to integrate the best without becoming controlled by the technology. This was the theme. To try to use it, especially with AI, in ways that enhance learning, but yet don't make the person dependent upon it as for critical thinking. Facilities, operation, resource management, athletics, student involvement, a lot of activity about that. People were very, they wondered about it and they were proud about it. And again, they loved their staff and teaching. And again, that strong district identity and pride is evidenced in the one hive mentality. And here's what they bet on in the future. Belief that the community and district can grow, improve, and rally together. So the community is behind the board. This is what they said with that one. Financial concerns, referendum fatigue. That's where that's where the energy is a little negative, and just wondering about that. So again, good marketing and strong identity messaging is important. Enrollment consolidation, district survival. That's what people are talking about. Especially Senator Kurtz, whenever you talk with him, he's really kind of focused on that. Community engagement, shared ownership, desire for change and innovation. Again, meaningful change, stronger leadership, good critical thinking skills. When everything else we have already talked about, except citizenship and inclusion. So we think public education is about not only professional development, but citizenship and community development. And I think mix-up.
Hi, my name's Nick Cosgrove and I'm a financial advisor in the community. So my area to talk to you tonight about is we asked the question, in 5 years from now, what would you be proud of to read about, like in the media, in the news, what would make you proud to be part of this district? So and again, we're gonna have a lot of, you'll see a lot of the themes thematically are woven together, that they were consistently coming up. But, so I'm just gonna paraphrase rather than read down these, you'll be able to see that. But in 5 years, the community said they would be proud to read about the Richland district being a high-performing, future-ready school district that supported student success and community growth. There was a strong focus on academic excellence, especially career pathways and real-world learning experiences. They would like to read about the prioritization of student well-being, the positive school culture, the inclusive environment found by all students. They would like to read about how the district was attracted and is retaining the top quality staff they desire. And they'd like to see reports of strong facilities and financial stability and the strengthening partnerships with the families, business, and community. So I think ultimately, and you'll be able to read these, but I think ultimately what they're saying is they would love to see the district not only educate the students, but also as they do that, it strengthens the entire community that we live in. So with that, this is what we're recommending. And I'm not sure.
Good evening. My name is Rob Wanless. I've lived in this community my whole life. In fact, I grew up with Brady Dowden as my next door neighbor. Sorry. He called me and got me into this, so. And I have to say, the first meeting that we had here in this room, I really wasn't sure if I was coming back or not. I wasn't sure where we were going with all this. But once I thought it over and understood it a little better, I realized, number one, this isn't about what I want to do or don't want to do. It's about the kids in this school, in this district, and the taxpayers that support this district and all of us here. So anyway, I'm still here. So as a group who have worked very hard and had a lot of conversations, we came up with a vision statement, which is to be a unified school community where every student is known, challenged, supported, and prepared to succeed in life, careers, and citizenship. Second of all, we came up with our mission statement, which reads: the Richland School District educates and inspires students through innovative learning experiences, character development, and community partnerships. And then we come out to our the value statements, which all these are circled around what everyone else has been talking about. This isn't what we've come up with. This is what this community felt was important to them. And we have done our best to put all these together. So value statements: transparency, student-centered, rigor and relevant, health and safety, and respect. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Shelley Stibbe, and I was invited to the steering committee by a classmate, Scott Bailing. So I'm not only an alumni, I'm a parent. 3 of my 4 kids graduated from Richland Center, and I have a junior left. And also, I represent the agriculture community. I was born and raised on a farm, and I'm married to a farmer. And also in the business community, I own a business and work professionally in Richland Center. And so if I can get this to go on, there we go. Through this process and evaluating all of the data that we gained through the community events, we formed 5 pillars. And these pillars are going to give you guidance on how to take action towards the next 5 years of strategic planning. So we spent a good portion of our last meeting getting the wording just right, because we really wanted to portray everything in as concise a manner as possible to all of you, as well as anyone in the community who might be reading these. So the first pillar is academic excellence. We want to ensure all students build strong foundations, grow academically, and gain the critical thinking and life skills needed for future success, such as career, military, trades, and college. That's not everything, but those are 4 examples. School communities. Create safe, welcoming schools where every student feels valued, supported, connected, and empowered to grow academically, socially, and emotionally. And I think you can see like how all the other feedback that's been talked about is woven in these pillars. Pillar 3, exceptional staff. We want to attract, support, and retain high-quality staff who inspire student success. 4th pillar, financial stewardship. Ensure efficient, transparent, safe, and sustainable district operations that provide high-quality student learning environments and strengthen community trust. And the 5th and final pillar is community connection. Strengthen partnerships with families and the community through meaningful engagement, clear communication, and a shared commitment to student success while fostering a foundation of trust in our schools. I don't remember if this is me or not. Is this me? Okay, sorry. This last piece, and you'll see this all kind of pulled together on our final 1-pager summary, is a tagline. And our tagline is every student, endless opportunities, one hive. We wanted to bring that one hive culture into it. So thank you so much.
All right, my name is Brady Ewing. I was fortunate enough to be on this committee. Grew up in this community, went to school here at Richland Center. Moved back about 4 years ago. Our kids attend the Hive program through the Richland district here. And that's been a great experience here this first year. I was happy that Sheila asked me to be a representative on this committee. So Mr. Behrens is handing out the 1-pager that summarized all the great things that you heard the community share about, that were their priorities, their focus areas, that they wanted to see the district focus on as we go forward. And we did our best coming up with a visual that represents that one hive mentality that I think was overarching and underarching a lot of the comments that we heard from people, whether that be amongst the school district, in the community, with business partners, to help first and foremost support our students at the center of it all. So this is the visual we came up with, had some good help from Steve's crew, I think Carrie as well, in pulling this together. And our hope is that this 1-pager summarizes all those great things, varying perspectives that we heard from the different stakeholders in the community throughout this process. Mr. Behrens, anything to add there?
Yeah, just get my, I guess, perspective on the whole process too. And I just have some notes I jotted, so I want to make sure I caught everything. I arrived to the group a little bit late. I know when Joe asked if I was available to serve on this committee, I was a little concerned because meetings were taking place sometimes on nights I had prior commitments with Pep-Ad or winter sport events. So I kind of arrived to the party a little bit late here. So I think it was before we had those community meetings where a couple meetings before that where I was able to start joining the group, and was not sure what to expect when I first started, but certainly glad for the process here. At the community nights, I was witnessing a wide range of backgrounds and ages that make up the residents of the district. These individuals that were present brought forth ideas that represented both positive ideas and areas that we could potentially improve the district through our change. At the forefront of all those discussions was putting the Richland School District students first, and also the district is an important part of our rural community. Stakeholders were asked to help shape the future of the Richland School District. The district worked hard to communicate these meetings and its desire to have its residents and taxpayers play a major role in shaping the direction of schools. Participants were assured that their voices would be heard, transparency maintained throughout the process. The leadership of the district has us moving in a very positive direction. This process solidifies the opportunity to continue and build on that solid foundation. I'm grateful for the work of the committee, the school district, and its residents. It's through working together that we will see continued positive growth. So thank you. Any questions for any of us?
I'll just add real quick. I was humbled and encouraged to be a part of this process. I think seeing the community come together, rally together in those 2-night events, I think brought a sense of community amongst people. I think it's very challenging in this world right now to find opportunities to bring people together from different backgrounds, different areas, different careers, different beliefs, and come together with a unified goal. I was humbled and encouraged and inspired by that. And I think also humbled and encouraged by the stuff that you all do to represent the community and those stakeholders. And I think that's represented too in the subcommittee. From what Rob said, that first night, kind of a hodgepodge group trying to figure out where we're going, what we're trying to do. But to see everybody rally together to represent the community and the stakeholders was really inspiring to me. Any questions?
Thank you for all you've done.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, I'll add to that too. I participated in all the meetings as far as just attending and listening to it. You know, I said it more than once. I was truly inspired by watching two-night event, but then just sitting back and listening to y'all compile the data and come up with all these things. And this one pager is going to be everywhere, all over the district. Should be everywhere in the community. I'm truly looking forward to this, and we're doing this again in a few years. So thank you so much for your time and commitment.
Yeah.
All right, with that then, is there a motion to approve the strategic framework, including pillars, mission and vision statements, values and plan names as presented by members of the steering committee, while formally acknowledging their work and dedication to this process?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Bailing. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Miller. Any discussion?
I just want to say thank you to everybody on the committee and for everybody who came that night, those nights. It's just really important. And so we appreciate your input and continue to want your input. So thank you for all that you've done, for showing up tonight again for the 11th meeting. Well, and I hope they all answer their phones in a few years when we call again.
Just glad everybody offered their expertise in this. We really needed this input from the community, and thanks for being the forefront of helping us develop this.
And I also want to just let you know that I'm committing to grounding decisions in this model, in what the community is asking us to ground our decisions in. And so that's a commitment I'm going to make moving forward. So I appreciate all this work, and now we know the direction we need to move these next couple of years. I second it.
All right, any other discussion? Motion and a second. Mrs. Thompson.
Aye.
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 All right, it's 8:14. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, by Mrs. Sharp, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second, Mrs. Thompson, any discussion? Mr. Troxel?
Aye.
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 Thank you so much.